Peace and power, family. Welcome back to Unto Read with B, tips for creatives. And as always, I'm going to hop right to it. And the first tip for today we have says, deal with the hard emotions. And I think it means exactly what it says, family. I think we have to deal with those emotions that we have been avoiding, that we have been, and I can speak for myself, I have been trying to work past, trying to journal past, trying to think past, and not deal with face on. Because once we get past these emotions, we make room for all the other things that we want to feel. It's taking up too much space. Those hard emotions are taking up too much space, and it's time to let them go. The second tip I have says prioritize self. Now, if you're like me, as a creative, we love to help our friends and family come up with solutions because we're creative. We come up with ideas easily. And this can get in the way of us actually dealing with our own shit. Okay? So in this season, in this new time, especially this week, in this new month, let's focus on self. Let's prioritize our own feelings and prioritize our own needs, prioritize our own journey and our own healing. Okay? Because once we handle our stuff, we will have more room and capacity to help others. And not only to help others, but to create, which is what we actually want to spend our time doing. The next tip says, learn to master challenges. The outside is a reflection of the inside. And what I think this means is everything that you're being faced with, everything that you're getting a test on, is a reflection of what you're dealing with on the inside. If your outside life is hard, it's because your internal life is hard, right? Your internal dialogue is negative, so the things that are showing up in your life are going to be negative. So, it's time to master those challenges. It's time to face those things that we think are the hardest, that we think are the things that we could never make it past, that we could never do without, right? Because once we get over those challenges, going back to getting through and dealing with those hard emotions, we will have the space and the capacity to do so much more and to create so much more. And from a place of love and from a place of pure creation and not need. The next tip says, set boundaries. Remember, you aren't here to fix anyone, just to live your best life, okay? And this is connected to the previous tips. It is time to focus on self. It is time to deal with your own problems, fix your own budget, clean your own house, fix your own food. It's time to focus on self, right? You have to set boundaries not only with others, but with yourself as well, right? Because we get so used to doing the same things over and over that we think it's normal, that we think it's the way that we have to do things. And that's not it, right? Just because we're comfortable doing it doesn't mean it's the best thing for us to do. So, set some boundaries. You ain't here to even fix yourself, right? You are here to live your best life. And if what you are doing now is not giving you the best output, then you got to change something. You have to set boundaries with yourself so that you can be your best self and live that best life that you dream of. The next tip says, release. My handwriting is terrible, y'all. It says release judgment and embrace truth and grace. And see, look at me, judging my handwriting in that moment. Right? We have to stop thinking about wrong and right. We have to stop thinking about what so-and-so is going to think, what are people going to say, what is so-and-so going to do. We have to release all of that and embrace our own truth and give ourselves grace, right? Because that is the only way that we will be able to live an authentic life. It's the only way that we will be able to do the things that we dream of and the things that we know we want to do, right? We have to live in our own truth and give ourselves grace for all of the mistakes we're going to make, because we have not been doing it this way the whole time. We have been doing it a completely different way, and we are facing the hard things, and we are facing the challenges. So we are going to make mistakes. We are going to fumble. We are going to fall, right? And instead of judging ourselves, we can embrace that truth and give ourselves grace. The next tip says, be open to receive, and you don't have to do it alone. And I think this is super important, because a lot of times in the healing journey or whatever you might be going through, we think we have to isolate. We think that we have to block out everybody in order to, deal with our shit. And just because you're dealing with your shit does not mean you can't have friends, and you can't have family, and you can't talk to people, and you can't have a good time, right? But when you need to be by yourself and deal with your problems and face your emotions and face your challenges, you need to do that alone. You need to get by yourself and still and quiet and do that alone. You don't need to do that at the club while you're dancing. You don't need to do that after 4 or 5 drinks at the restaurant. You know what I'm saying? And yes, it's easy to talk things over with people, but try talking to yourself. Try listening to what is actually going on in your mind and reasoning with yourself on if this is even the truth, or if this is something that we've been comfortable saying and doing and we need to release. The last tip for today says, you will make it to the other side of struggle. You must keep going. Okay? And I think that's a beautiful way to end, because on whatever journey you're on, it is a lifelong journey. It is the journey of your life, right? So it's never going to end unless your life ends. You're never going to have to show up and decide who you want to be unless you ain't got to be no more, right? So you will make it to the other side of struggle if you continue to live your life, if you continue to embrace your truths, if you continue to be yourself and to face the challenges and the hard emotions. You will make it to the other side. Just keep going. Love y'all.